there's a unfortunate scratch right there. Sucks. Awesome. At least it works. As you may or may not know, my DDR cabinet uses a standard CGA resolution CRT monitor. I've been kind of wavering back and forth on deciding whether or not to replace it, because even though it's a perfectly working monitor, it does have some minor flaws and defects, probably from just being really, really old. It's the first monitor that ever came with this first generation DDR cabinet, so it's about maybe 20-ish years old. So I've been trying to, weigh the pros and cons of whether or not I should, try to hunt down another CRT, a multi-sync, tri-sync CRT to replace that one to get a better image, or just go with a giant LCD screen like a lot of other cabinet owners have been doing, putting a giant 42-inch monitor right in the front of the machine, and there you go, that's it. I've been thinking a lot about it lately just because I've been kind of tired of how crappy the old CRT kind of looks. I'm limited to a very low resolution, 15 kilohertz horizontal frequency, so requires a special signal to display the game properly. But I also could get a better looking monitor, like an LCD screen, display high resolution. I've been playing more like Stepmania in the Groove. I'm not running any old DDR mixes, so I don't have a System 573 to run old mixes anymore. I don't really need the old CRT. I don't really need to stick with the old classic CRT standard resolution anymore, when I could just get a nicer monitor, high resolution monitor, and make things look nicer, more aesthetically pleasing. But I also wanted a way to mount the monitor inside the cabinet. I'm not really a fan of the whole putting a monitor, slapping the monitor right on the front of the cabinet. It's something about that bugs me, even though it doesn't really get in the way of me playing. It kind of looks like junk, but that's just my preference. I've been kind of browsing this Facebook group of private machine owners, and there was this one post that I saw. Somebody took a 30-inch monitor, a 30-inch Dell monitor, a really old model. It's one of those ultra sharp series, and 30 inches is kind of a strange size of monitor. Like, you don't really see that often. I think those are the only 30-inch monitors in existence. Maybe a couple of exceptions. I think there are a couple of brands or makers that have made 30-inch LCDs, and Dell's Ultra Sharp series apparently does 30 inches and makes the 16:10 ratio of resolution of their monitor. The benefit of that size and that aspect ratio is that the vertical space that monitor takes up fits exactly, almost exactly, in line with the height of the normal CRT you would put in this cabinet. I think it just barely fits in on the sides. That's one of the main reasons I came down to deciding on getting this monitor here. This is a monitor I just came in today. It's the Dell Ultra Sharp U3014. This is a 30-inch IPS panel monitor. Back in like 2013, 2014, this was a top of the line, kind of like a Photoshop monitor. It's mainly used for like photo editing. It's calibrated to get like really accurate colors, and the aspect ratio, it's 16:10, so it's got more of that vertical space. One of the other benefits that I saw made me decide on getting this monitor: input lag. I was reading up on the specs of this monitor. Let me show you real quick here. So tell me that says here. That's input lag 3 milliseconds. I saw that, I was like, are you serious? Like, you're not messing with me, right? Like, 3 milliseconds is really good, like even better than most monitors of like 2019, 2020. Well, a lot of gaming monitors don't even like barely even come close to 3 milliseconds. And this is when you put the monitor into game mode, get rid of all the processing kind of stuff. It respects aspect ratios. So if a source were to project into this monitor and it was like 640 by 480, which I'm currently running StepMania on, it'll maintain that aspect ratio. Like, it'll display in 4:3. It'll have the black bars on the side. So when you're looking at it in the cabinet and you have the bezel right in front of it, it pretty much looks exactly like it does now. Supposedly, you wouldn't even notice the difference there. Supposedly, you wouldn't notice that there's an LCD sitting in there. CRT is supposed to be lagless, and this thing lasts like pretty much a lifetime, but you can adjust the offset in StepMania. Like, that part doesn't even matter. All the new DDR games use LCDs now anyway. A lot of music games use LCDs nowadays, so that latency is just something you adjust to. It's not as big of a deal as it used to be, when there wasn't any sort of that timing compensation. Or like, I could send my chassis out to some third party, get it looked at, get it repaired, make some tweaks to it, but I don't want to send my chassis out and be out of a monitor and not be able to play for days or maybe even weeks at a time. I don't know how long that would take, and I don't know how long it would take to just hunt down a new CRT. You're not going to find a Wells Gardner on eBay. You're not going to find anyone willing to ship a Wells Gardner. The only available CRT that you can just buy, the Mockvision Tri-Sync monitor. I heard those weren't very good. Something's messed up with the geometry, and I hear they're kind of flaky, the hardware's kind of crap, and so I've just heard nothing but bad things about the Mockvision, so I just want to avoid it entirely if possible. It's kind of like a last resort thing, and dealing with CRTs at all is kind of a pain anyway. It's heavy, it's dangerous to work with if you don't know what you're doing, if you touch the wrong thing, and you could end up in a world of hurt or even dead. So I thought it would be a better investment to just, go with something that is available, something that you could just get right away. And that's one of the other reasons I went with this monitor here. So I think now the next step here is figuring out how to mount this guy into the cabinet, and I'm gonna have to save that for another day, and that will continue on this video real soon. Approximately 27 inches to work with inside this monitor cavity here. If we can get the monitor behind these black bars, these black wooden bars here, we've got about 27 1/8 of length on this monitor. So the length from, let's say, all the way in here to over here is just 1/16 of an inch too short for the monitor, including the bezel. So from all the way over there to here. So we would have to either somehow shave down the monitor cavity just a little bit, or somehow shave down this bezel, or possibly take the bezel off altogether to get it to fit just right. Or we might be able to just kind of, squeeze it in there, but I don't know. We'll have to see what we can figure out here. But the next thing we got to figure out is what to do with these mounting brackets. We might be able to make use of those somehow. I'll have to measure that out in a bit. Just testing this out, making sure it works. Looks like it is doing pretty well so far. Oh, there we go. Oh, looks like interesting. So this is capable of accepting a 15 kilohertz horizontal signal, because CRT's plugged in. Let's see if I can adjust the aspect ratio. Get the menu up here. Let's see, how do we do this? I don't know how to navigate this thing yet, so bear with me. Aspect ratio. Yeah, there we go. So we can set this to auto. Try to set this to auto resize. See what happens. These other settings here. Nothing that we need here. Shortcuts. Brightness, contrast, input, color settings, RGB. Is there anything else over here? No, that's fine. Game. Presets. Boy, game. Not sure what that really does with the colors. Oh yeah, let's see if we can figure out how to put this into gaming mode. Unless that was it, according to the preset here. Yeah, it accepts a low-res signal, and that's pretty exciting actually. To know that, not that we have to run it that way, but it's cool to know that it works just as is. Before I can even plan out or even figure out how to mount the new monitor, I need to get this thing out of here. And the thing about this monitor is that I'm not planning on keeping this monitor, even though this thing is working perfectly. It's well, close to perfect. Even though it's working fine. I would feel really terrible about disposing of it, because it's not only a perfectly working monitor, it is a very rare kind of item. You're not gonna see this on the market, second-hand market, anywhere right now, and it would be a shame to trash this thing. But before I can plan out getting that monitor into this cabinet, I need to get this thing out of here. However, I do know at least one local person who would be willing to take this off my hands. I did go ahead and unplug this overnight already, and also unhooked the monitor from power source, and it seems like that is it, because the control panel is already back here instead of on the front. I believe whoever had this cabinet before had either I don't know if they definitely didn't replace the monitor. I believe they took this to get it repaired, because there's like a tag over here. I think that is the only thing that I really have to worry about, because this thing, yeah, there's just this one connector here. I believe both the power and the picture are all in one connector, so that kind of makes things convenient. And it's just this tag is covering everything. Yeah, there's that one connector right there, that one plug that this thing connects to. This guy here, if there is one person I know locally who is willing to take that monitor, it's
absolutely
this guy, Mr. MSD himself.
Stuff like gold.
Already got the ratchet, wrench, and everything.
I literally like keep this attached to my tool thing because like 5 of these machines use these same screws to mount the thing.
Wow.
So.
Yeah, I was looking at it earlier and I was like, how am I gonna get the nuts from the back loosened? It seems like you got that taken care of pretty easily with that.
Yeah, no, I love this tool.
I need to get me one of those. I've been wanting a ratchet set for so long.
Yeah, you can get them at Lowe's. They're nice. They're not that expensive. Is it all disconnected from the back?
Yeah. There's one connector that I was just explaining on this video earlier that is tied to both the picture and the power.
Ah.
So it's just one Molex.
Okay. Easy enough.
And the control panel's already in the back.
Okay.
I think it was serviced at one point and they just kind of left the thing hanging back there. So there shouldn't be anything else.
Yeah, so now I'm confused. So you got this after you gave your old machine to Mike.
Yeah.
Where did this come from again?
It came from somewhere in Alewife. Like, I got it off Picars. There's that control panel there. You need a flashlight?
I got it. I've got this whole back practically memorized now.
Awesome.
Because everything's wired literally the same exact way.
Were there anything else? Any other wires that you needed back there?
I just need this one, that's all. It's always good to have like this one. Because this is like the standard 15 pin.
Yeah, definitely. Do you need help with getting this out? You got it?
Ryan Cunningham taught me this little trick.
Want me to get the fan out of your way?
Yeah, let's get that out of the way.
Ooh, big, strong. Is that okay to have it on the carpet?
Yes. Because everything's on the
frame.
Everything's on the frame. Everything's fine.
Oh, look at that. There's that rare CRT.
So this boy fits.
Yeah, this boy is supposed to
fit nice and
be able to fit, but it's still connected right now. So.
Oh, okay. I didn't know if it was like just chilling.
Yeah, I was testing it out earlier.
Are you gonna build like? Are you gonna put like a 2x4 in here?
I want to see if I can make use of the existing frames here. So maybe like a couple of wooden 2x4s. Or,
yep, and drill a hole.
Or 1x2s. Or whatever.
Get the same size screw as this, except much longer.
Yeah.
And then get a nut and just, or get like a wing nut or something, and then just tie it from the back.
Yeah, I think
Actually, no, you need to because that's threaded. Yeah, so you could just literally get 2 pieces of plywood and then make sure it's not so thick that it pushes it above the bezel so you can put your glass back on.
Yeah. Okay.
Is it flat? Is it flat on the back of this? No, not really.
No, there's a little kind of protrusion for all the circuits and stuff. That's the first time I've seen this thing
without the monitor.
Yeah. All empty.
All things considered, it's pretty clean in there.
Yeah, I'm surprised how good in condition this thing came in. So that should be it for getting this thing out of here, and it's going to a good home and not getting dumpstered.
Yeah, man, can't be throwing away good things like this. They don't make them anymore.
Nope, not at all. The CRT is out of here. It's going to a good home. Thankfully, I don't have to dispose of it. That was my biggest worry, and yeah, thankfully there was a good friend that wanted to take it off my hands, and now I've got this temporary mounting situation right here, and it looks so much cleaner. Yeah, the picture is just like so much nicer to look at right now, and I'm about to try it out and see how well this thing works. Gotta make sure that this thing is in game mode, because otherwise it'll be laggy as hell. Just gave it the old sync test using Egg Dealer. 6 millisecond mean timing error. Not too shabby. Could definitely do better on this, but it's hard to you know, knock this one out cold. Yeah, the timing feels surprisingly nice. Yeah, I've got the monitor kind of set up right now. I'm just gonna play around with it for a while, and I think I'll save the mounting process for another video. I still have to figure that part out, what exactly I want to do with the mounting itself and how I want it to set it up. So yeah, I'm gonna save that for next time, and yeah, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.